Here's 10 details that will make you love Batman Arkham City. Well, if you didn't already. Starting off with the main menu. Yes, you heard me right. Every time that you boot up the game, there's a detail that I bet 80% of you didn't even know about. If you stay in the main menu, you will actually see more than just Batman. Depending how far you are into the game, you can end up with characters such as the Joker, Harley Quinn, Mr. Freeze, and Solomon Grundy. Now, I know this is a really small detail, but there are tons of details like this that people don't even know about, like this next one. At the beginning of the game, you will start out as millionaire.
Billionaire, Mickey. Millionaires are so last year.
Bruce Wayne, giving a speech about why Arkham City, a cutout part of Gotham, needs to be shut down, but before he can even finish his speech, he is kidnapped by a mysterious private military group who take orders from none other than Hugo Strange. After a failed escape, and given a Tyger guard a whack on the nose, we are escorted out of the room, but if we turn around we can actually see the Tyger guard seemingly disorientated from the headbutt that Bruce gave him. Something that definitely didn't need to be added to the game, but it makes the game feel so much more real. For our Batman Arkham veterans, you may know already, but throughout the game we encounter plenty of characters, such as being taken by the Penguin, then later versing him in the museum. But did you know that there are even more characters that are in the game that appear in this small section? Starting off with the more obvious one, which is Deadshot, who says,
"Bruce Wayne, you're on my list."
Come on! Smash him in the face!
Bang!
I know some people picked up on this, but I did find a significant amount of people who missed this on their first playthrough. Another villain you could have easily missed in the chaos is Black Mask, who, if we look to the right before entering Line A, we can find him fighting off Tyger soldiers who eventually tase him and restrain him. If you think that's everyone that appeared early on, you're actually only halfway there. Finally entering Arkham City, we need to protect Jack Ryder, but if you zoom in onto the rooftops, we actually see Azrael, who is standing there watching us. An awesome detail that could imply that Azrael knows that Batman is Bruce Wayne, and that's why Azrael is watching over him. Lastly, moving on to the church. And after our altercation with Harley Quinn and her thugs, we are told by the game to head to the top of the church. But before that, we can spot a guy with bandages wrapped around his face, holding on to a box which no one can pry from him. Speaking to the medic, he will tell you that this person cut off his own face. If you don't know who this is, it's actually Hush, who is later revealed to be the identity thief. Additionally, there's a radio broadcast that mentions Bruce Wayne is in Arkham City, to which Hush reacts in distaste. Here, have a listen.
More news on the hour's most dramatic story. We now have confirmation that Bruce Wayne was indeed arrested and thrown into Arkham City. Why? Well, that is the question that everyone is asking right now. You can be sure that Wayne's lawyers are currently at the front of that line. We'll have more news as it breaks, as well as an eyewitness report from Jack Ryder as soon as we can.
If you think this is the last detail early on in the story, then you will have to stick around to find out what these 16 thugs are here for. Here's a detail I bet you never even thought was possible. Batman is at death's door and travels to Wonder City in search of Ra's al Ghul for help. Our access is seemingly blocked by a massive door with no option to open it. Using Batman's detective skills, he is able to locate the hidden entrance, but he needs a sword to open it. Luckily, a member of the League of Assassins attacks Batman, where Batman quickly counters the ninja and uses her sword to gain access. But did you know if you place a freeze grenade mine on the floor where the ninja lands, you will actually be able to freeze her? Now, there's not much you can do with this piece of information, but the fact that it's possible is so cool to me. Speaking of cool, after beating Mr. Freeze in possibly the greatest video game boss battle of all time, well, apart from the electrocutioner of course, Victor asks for Batman to search for Nora, his wife, who has been kidnapped by the Joker. When we locate Nora, take down the thugs and inform Mr. Freeze of his wife's whereabouts, he will thank you, and the next time you go back to the location, you will find Mr. Freeze has created a path that leads to Nora. Something that wasn't necessary to add. but this detail makes Arkham City one of the most detailed games of all time. This took 3 years to find this detail in Arkham City. For this detail, we need to travel back in time all the way back to December 13, 2004 with our copy of Batman Arkham City. After doing so, we need to travel to the courthouse where we meet Calendar Man, one of the most insane criminals of all time. The significance of this date is that Rocksteady Studios was created on this date. Calendar Man will spout unique dialogue for this date where he finishes with, "I was there at your beginning and I will be there at your end," which we see in Batman Arkham Knight when Calendar Man appears at the Nightfall Protocol ending. This next detail I think I am the first person to ever notice since the release of this game back in 2011. Going back to the start of the game and after the tussle with the Tyger security guards, we are escorted outside, but rather than turning around, we go straight ahead to find a bunch of prisoners rounded up, 16 prisoners to be exact. And the importance of this is that we know Azrael, Deadshot and Black Mask appear at the beginning of the game, who are either DLC or side missions, while I've reason to believe that these 16 thugs are a hint towards the side mission acts of violence, where thugs are threatening helpless victims and Batman has to stop them. But how many random acts of violence missions are there? Well, there's actually 16 in total, leading me to believe that those 16 thugs are a nod to what's coming up later. Let me know if you agree or if you think this is a reach. Did you know that there was a feature for Batman Arkham City that was exclusive to PC? Sorry console fans. The feature is called NVIDIA Physics, which adds really cool physics details such as the section where Catwoman robs Hugo Strange's vault. We can see with physics turned on that the money on the ground is affected by Catwoman's movement and the whip. There's added smoke effects where if the Joker thugs run through it, it will react, and Penguin's ice gun will leave shards of ice on the floor in the confrontation between Batman and the Penguin. There is a subtle hint to Batman Arkham City's twist that I bet 10% of you haven't ever seen before. If you've beaten Batman Arkham City, then you will know that there's two Jokers, one being the imposter Joker Clayface and the real Joker. Nearing the end of the game, Talia al Ghul will stab the imposter Joker, only to be shot by the real Joker soon after. From this, Batman realizes that during the events of Arkham City, these Jokers were interchanging in an effort to confuse Batman, making him believe that the Joker was no longer sick. But apart from the obvious signs that this Joker was not this Joker, there were actually some really clever hints. When we take on the Joker, and if you turn on Detective Vision, you will be able to see that Joker has no bones. But that is too obvious. I found an even more subtle hint. If we rewind before the fight, the healthy Joker gives a speech, and during that speech we can hear a faint coughing sound, and with that coughing coming from the real Joker.
Imagine your favorite TV show. You've been through it all, the ups, the downs, the crazy coincidences, and then bang! They tell you what it's all about.
Let me know if you knew that. Here is a really creepy detail, which is Jason Todd is secretly watching you. Let me explain. If we jump forward to Batman Arkham Knight, we find out that the villain helping Scarecrow was Jason Todd this whole time. During his boss battle, we can find pictures of Batman. One image that sticks out is the picture of Batman and Robin. The reason that this is important is that this is the scene that Robin hands Batman the line launcher in Batman Arkham City, which is insane, as we get a rough idea where Jason was when this photo was taken, which was at the water fountain only a few meters away. Now obviously they didn't plan this originally in Batman Arkham City, but it's still really cool to think that Jason Todd was there all along. For those who stuck around, here's a bonus detail that I found in Batman Arkham City, which is pretty dumb. Back in the church, we all know that Harley Quinn attacks us and we can either get hit or counter Harley's kick. But did you know there's a third option? Kinda. For if we run away from Harley, she will chase us indefinitely. Is this useless? Yes. but some of you may never have thought this was possible during your multiple playthroughs of Arkham City. Be sure to comment down below what your favorite detail is, and if there is any that I haven't mentioned, be sure to let me know. Be sure to like and subscribe. That's all for now. My name is Fo and Slan.